With the greatest density of vineyards of any country in the world, tiny Moldova punches way above its weight when it comes to wine. It's become a world-class destination for wine lovers, with evidence of winemaking dating back 7,000 years.
In this episode of Explore, I'm heading to some of the most celebrated wine regions to meet the country's modern vintners and drink up its rich wine culture.
Just north of the capital, Chișinău, lies one of the world's biggest wine cellars. Cricova Winery stores a jaw-dropping 30 million liters of wine. Moldova's national wine collection is also housed here, with 1.3 million bottles from around the world.
Before the wine cellar, there were limestone mines, and from these stones was built Chișinău and villages around Chișinău. In 1952, Petru Ungureanu, the godfather of Moldovan winemaking, decided to use these galleries for aging wines.
It takes a while to get from one place to another. The entire cellar is 120 kilometers long, 83 of which are packed to the brim with wine.
There's so much ground to cover that the winery has a little train to help you get around and to make sure that you don't get lost.
On the way to the tasting room, I caught a glimpse of Cricova's own wine being aged. Every day, a team of 6 local women painstakingly rotates up to 40,000 bottles of sparkling wine by hand. They check for sediment the old-fashioned way, with a candle. Sparkling wine is Cricova's specialty.
This sparkling wine have a very beautiful color. Is transparent, without sediment, is golden pale color, with very fine and soft bubbles. These bubbles we obtain in a natural form during second fermentation of the sparkling wine here underground. Here we can smell some aromas of bread, a little bit of citrus notes, and sometimes a little bit of butter cream.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cheers.
Once I emerge from the depths of the cellar, it's time to get a different perspective on Moldova's wine country. A bird's eye view, if you will.
What better way to see Moldova's natural treasures than from the sky?
The country's secret to producing great wine is its fertile soil and mild climate. Its rolling hills and dense forests also make for a stunning panorama and the perfect escape into nature. Back on the ground, I head to one of Moldova's most beloved natural sites, Orheiul Vechi. The historical and archaeological complex is nestled in a gorge on the Răuț River.
You can find here a lot of cultures. You can find sites from Paleolithic times, from antiquity, from Middle Ages. So it's really multi-layered. The place is rich in history.
Dimitri, my guide, is a specialist in Moldovan history. He's taking me up the hill to the Peștera promontory to see a 15th century monastery that's been carved into the stone.
That's the temple, and behind the curtain is the altar.
Okay. And what were these?
These are rooms.
Where people would pray?
Yeah, not people, but monks.
So were they really tiny, or were they just like on their knees all the time?
They were on their knees. People were actually smaller than us, but not that small. It's not hobbits. Here you can see the old entrance, so people had to climb here from the bank of the river to get to this monastery on the stairs. But in the 19th century, during the earthquake, it was destroyed.
I joined the pilgrims leaving coins on the mountainside to make sure I come back here one day. But I couldn't leave Moldova without trying some of their local cuisine. Luckily, my final stop is Șatău-Varteli, a nearby winery that serves Moldovan specialties. It's also at the forefront of the country's new winemaking scene.
Ne-am depus toate eforturile pentru a schimba viziunea în ceea ce privește calitatea vinurilor din Republica Moldova, începând cu strugurii. Din plantațiile de viță de vie am retehnologizat acolo, deci am plantat multe noi vițe de vie de soiuri autohtone.
So then tell me, how does your wine pair with food?
Ar fi bine ca vinul roșu, feteasca neagră, rara neagră, să asociem cu vinuri, cu sărmăluțe, cu mici. Deci mămăliguța cu zeamă pot fi asociate cu orice. Dar decât să vorbim, mai bine ar putea să încercăm.
Absolutely. Perfect.
After watching an animated history of Moldovan wine, we sat down together to try some traditional dishes, paired with some of Șatău-Varteli's award-winning Taraboste wine. It's a perfect ending to my trip in Moldova, coming full circle in this small but passionate wine country.